Joining us now, Steve Okun for our international news review. Steve, welcome back to the city state.
Thank you. And I see Singapore saw I was coming back and eased up on a lot of the COVID restrictions. So it'll be just like the U.S.
Yeah, let's go to our next topic, which is expat bankers fleeing Hong Kong, but are seeing no easy escape to Singapore. Now, we've been talking about the exodus stories out of Hong Kong for quite some time now. What's the latest take on this as we're hearing it from Bloomberg?
Well, I think, Neil would certainly be in agreement that there are not enough bankers in Singapore. And that this should be at the top of the list of the Singapore government is to attract more bankers to come here. Look, I mean, I think you are seeing a huge demand for people to come to Singapore from multinationals, not just Western ones, not just U.S. and Australia, but Chinese multinationals are coming here. Look, there's only so much room here, and it's not like every banker should be at the top of the list to get in. And so the Singapore government is open, it is working with companies, but to have, an article that say expat bankers are fleeing Hong Kong and seeing no easy escape to Singapore, Neil would probably say, bravo. That's the way it should be.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Here I am for the benefit of people on Facebook Live. Here is me playing the world's smallest violin for the world's wealthiest bankers. Now, I am a little bit nonplussed, shall we say, with this spate of stories that have come out in the last few months or so, particularly from this particular news organization, I hasten to add, whining. It's just whining expats complaining that Diddums, Singapore won't let them in, or Singapore is raising the salary threshold for people who are not going to be anywhere near that threshold anyway. I'm not sure, Steve, how much sympathy, A, we're expecting these international bankers, international businessmen to have, and B, surely it's the number one prerequisite of any half-decent government to put its citizens first. Lee Hsien Loong said recently, of course, we are going to remain an international hub, but equally, like any elected government, we are responsible for our citizens and their well-being first. It's not unreasonable?
Well, there's a line in the story. It says, companies are expected to develop a Singaporean core of talent and groom Singaporeans for leadership ranks. Duh. I mean, yes, of course, exactly. That's what they're expected to do. And companies are doing that. And that is why you are still seeing a huge demand for global companies to come here. Yeah, do we need Singapore, I should say the collective we, do you need more family offices based here? Do they really generate the jobs that the multinationals from China, the U.S., Australia, wherever, who are coming here and setting up and helping that Singaporean core grow? You want to put them ahead of both. Now, you want to have both. And there is a lot it is important to have a vibrant financial services sector here. And Singapore is seeing that. But I think the sentiment of some of what's in this article from Bloomberg is right, that bankers are having a tough time, but it misses the bigger picture, which is this is still an extraordinarily attractive place, and it is attracting more and more people. If you look at, you look in this article alone, who's coming here? Citigroup, Wells Fargo, SocGen, Credit Suisse, all are moving staff here from Hong Kong. And so it's not just the financial services sector that wants to be here. It's a lot of different firms want to be here. Now, it used to be, if you go back 20 years, when we all started, being here in Singapore, the three of us, more or less, it was a whole different ballgame, and Singapore gave you a lot more incentives to come here. Now it's more about a win-win. Singapore says, we want you to come here, foreign companies, but we need to win too. And so what can you do to help us grow that Singaporean core? What can you help us do to have Singaporeans rise in the ranks and not hit this, glass ceiling of middle management, but to become the regional heads? So I think this article, there's probably nothing factually wrong in it, but as Neil says, it's you bring out the tiny violin when you read it.
Yeah, and it's not the first. There's been a spate.
There's been a spate. I mean, this is a country that's based on business, though. It's based on, it is a business hub, and it has to remain so for part of the success here to carry on, right? To everyone's benefit.